What's going on, everybody? We back, we back, we back. We back, we back, we back. No singing.
Hey guys.
Welcome to Breakfast with the Brookses, guys. For those of you guys who are just jumping on, my name is Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach. If this is your first time, welcome. And this right here is the lovely light skin with the brick red, maybe. I don't know what color red lipstick that is.
Sheri Brooks Jr. I'm an author, speaker, relationship, and life balance coach, and it is great to be back with you guys this Saturday.
I love it. Babe, listen, it's been a minute since we've been together. Let me get my lighting together. But we're in a different scenario. Obviously, we're in transition. We've got some great news coming up for you guys. Breakfast with the Brookses is going to be being broadcast from a different location here in a little bit. That is another story. But for today, we are going to talk about, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, we're going to talk about blending families. And I think that, Sheri, when it comes to blending families, most people make it harder than it has to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think that people make it more difficult out of a lack of understanding of the tools necessary to make it work.
Yeah.
I was recently having a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about this, and I was saying, a lot of people make blending families more difficult simply because we don't approach it from the perspective of who we are and who all of the different players are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're all family.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, as for those of you that are believers, that's your brother or sister in Christ. If it's your ex, if it's, the children, we're all family. And if you approach it from that perspective, it makes it so much easier. Now, there are difficult situations. I'm not saying that there aren't. But even in those difficult situations, you have to realize that you can only change. You're only responsible for how you respond.
Yep.
And if your response is out of love, no matter what the situation is, you can control how you handle the situation, but you can't necessarily control what another person does.
Absolutely.
But it can make it a lot smoother process.
Absolutely. So for those of you guys who don't know, Sheri and I created an online relationship academy. We call it MAPS, Marriages and Parenting Successfully. Here's what I'd like you guys to do. For those of you all who are literally tuning in live with us, do me a favor. Put this in the chat, www.thecrcoach.com. And what that does is it gives you an opportunity to connect with us. There is a free discovery session opportunity for you. We want you to schedule a free discovery session if you think that you are a candidate or you want to be involved in an organization that, quite frankly, celebrates growing in healthy relationships. So we have 5 different group coaching platforms.
Right. We have the parenting group. We have a group for couples.
Yep.
We have a group for singles.
Yep.
We have a men's only group, and we also have a ladies only group. And we meet weekly in each group individually, where we get to come together and you get to meet with other individuals in the same relationship status. Like-minded people that are trying to grow their relationship.
100%.
This is not about you coming there and complaining about what's wrong with your relationships, but you're trying to grow, and ultimately you're trying to grow as an individual.
Yep, 100%. So if that's something that you're interested in, again, we got it there on the screen for those of you guys who are live on YouTube, www.thecrcoach.com. It's the MAPS Relationship Academy. We want you guys to be a part of that because as relationship coaches, baby, this is what we do every day, all day. This is our full-time business. And I know that for me, when you and I started out 20 years ago, we had no idea the work that it would take to successfully blend a family.
No, I had been married twice before Glenn, and I had a daughter in my first marriage, and I had not learned how to blend. I didn't understand the concept of blending. In my situation, her biological father was not actively involved, and so I never had to dealing with my ex or dealing with my baby daddy as I was going through, my future relationships. And so I never had to really deal with that. And it wasn't until Glenn and I got married, because Glenn had been married once before and he had a son when we got together. And it was in our relationship that I had to learn what blending was really about.
Right.
I'm a strong proponent. I don't believe in the term step parent or stepchildren for my own personal reasons. I just feel like that's a negative has a negative
connotation to it. Yeah.
And so we like to refer to it as
bonus.
Blending a family and having bonus children, or being a bonus parent.
So today, guys, babe, and I don't mean to jump in, but I want to kind of jump into this content. We're not going to be long with you guys this morning, but we want to set up what is going to be an ongoing conversation for a minute. We're going to be here for a while. We've got coming up in November an event that we're going to do that has been an opportunity that's kind of come into our space that we said yes to right away. There's an organization called Married to the Ring, Married to the Covenant of the Ring, that's putting on an event in November, and they've asked us to come in. We're going to be the keynote speakers there. It's a 5-day, 6-day, 5-night, I think what it is, type thing. Anyway, we're going to give you a link.
6 days, 5
6 days, 5 nights. But it's going to be chock full of event-oriented or workshop-driven opportunities for people to come in and learn what they need to know that will enable them, to do their relationship on a very high functioning level.
Right, and this retreat is not like your traditional marriage retreat.
Nope, not at all.
There's going to be a lot of time for you to really invest time with your spouse.
That's going to be part of
it's a lot of fun, a lot of activities.
Absolutely.
There's going to be some meat.
Yep.
Definitely. But this is really a time for parents to be able to come together with other parents that are in similar situations, to be able to fellowship, to be able to get wisdom, to be able to grow, to be able to continue to foster your relationships and learn some new tips, new skills to help you to better manage your relationship, whether you're a blended family or whether you're a married couple with children, whether, if you're a parent, whether blended or not. This is going to be the place for you to be able to get some skills, some tools to be able to help to take your marriage to the next level in the midst of...
And we're going to talk about that in a second. In the midst of parenting. Guys, one of the things that we found out really quickly when it came to blending, that blending doesn't happen outside of the marriage. Blending doesn't happen outside of the couple foundation. Let me explain to you what I mean when I say that. So in order for us to blend a family, you and I have to first come together and form the family. Mm-hmm. No one's blending the family by themselves. It's called solo.
Right.
What denotes blending is that you have two separate people coming from two complete different perspectives, trying to come together for a common cause to grow a specific relationship. First, it starts with your marriage. Second, it starts with your parenting. So this retreat is going to really be designed to hone in on helping you get fortified at the couple foundation first.
Right.
And then we're going to break off as the week progresses. And then we're going to deal with the idea of, now that we're solid, we understand some things from a couple's perspective. We now have the resources and the energy and the mindset that it takes to blend the family. I think that our successes in blending has come from the direct success of us foundationally securing our couple relationship.
I agree. I totally agree. I think that we were able to build a solid foundation in our marriage first, and that has spilled out into our relationship with our children,
100%.
As well as with our co-parents. Speaking of Justin's parents, his biological mother, his stepfather, that we've been able to have that overflow,
sort of blossom as a result
into those relationships. And so now we have a healthy relationship with them. We have healthy relationships with our children.
1,000%.
And so I think today I can say we've successfully blended.
Yeah, it's been 20 years. We've been working on it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And if you want to know more information about that, just put, look, I need to know. I want to know more about this. It's going to be a time where you and your significant other can take a week off the week before Thanksgiving. I think it's November the 18th.
Right. It's November 18th through the 23rd. It's going to be held in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I'm going to give all the details later.
Love it.
But it's a week-long retreat.
We're going to be in a big old mansion.
And we'll be the only
all
ones
to
there.
ourselves.
And so it's a limited number of spaces. It's a limited number of rooms. So you want to make sure that if you are interested to go ahead and secure your spot. We'll give all the details, the link and stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Marriage to the Ring for inviting us. We're going to be introducing them, the people behind that. We're going to have an opportunity probably to bring them on Breakfast with the Brookses and talk with Tanya and Gerald about what they're doing and why they're doing it. Guys, this is a space that I think is quite frankly underserved. And our goal really over these next few weeks and probably months throughout this summer is to drill down, particularly as we approach school, there's so many dynamics that happens when blending is involved, right? So you got a lot of things to consider. And today we're going to give you 3 proven strategies to consider. I want you to put that in the chat. 3 proven strategies to consider
when blending,
not necessarily to do. See, because a lot of us, babe, will rush to do, and we haven't considered it yet.
Right.
We haven't embraced whether or not this is something that A, we are willing to buy into. B, can we really pull that off? C, how does it work for us? So these are several, and we've got a gazillion of them, but we're only going to talk about 3 today.
Right.
Proven strategies to consider while blending a family. And the precursor to today is, and here's the question, why does blending family have to be so hard? Put that in the chat.
You remember that movie, Blended?
Blended. We're blended. Let me tell y'all something. Side note, real quick. Back in 2005, I had the opportunity.
Terry Crews in that movie?
Yes, Terry Crews. God bless America.
He is a fool.
I promise you, this boy is a nut. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. If you seen that movie, if you haven't, go, I'm sure it's on Netflix. Go see it. When we were in Africa, I went to South Africa in 2005 for a missions trip, guys, and it was an incredible experience. But while we were there, we had the opportunity to go and be a part of an excursion that we did at Sun City, which is a resort in South Africa up near Cape Town. And I was blown away, right, by the digs, by the trappings, the whole environment, you name it. It was laid all the way out. This place was nice. When I saw this movie, the first thing I said to Sheri is like, "Oh my God,
that's Sun City.
That is Sun City." Like I don't know what. If it's a replica of it, like, no, but then they started showing artifacts and different things around the resort. So if you've never been to Sun City, maybe you don't understand what I'm saying, but if you have, you get it. But it was really neat. The movie was really all about what does it look like to come together and to decide, listen, it's a decision that you make.
Right.
What are we going to do that's in the best interest of the children? That's a decision. So number 1, a proven strategy, which leads us right into this, is number one. It's not about you. So I need y'all to put that in the chat. Babe,
it's not about you.
It is not about, I know you're important.
But
this ain't got nothing to do. And you need to remove yourself.
It ain't about you.
It ain't about you.
It's about
them little minions,
them
little midgets, them little, whatever they call it, right? Crumb snatchers, whatever you. Let me tell y'all something.
They didn't ask to be here.
Sheri, please say that again.
They didn't ask to be here.
Guys,
I
think
didn't ask to be in this situation
100%
where mommy and daddy
are
together.
Falling out and they're not together.
They didn't ask for that.
They didn't ask for that.
You got to kind of
figure that part out.
And
here's the thing that I need you guys to understand. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. Here's the thing I need you to understand. At the end of the day, let's just be dead real. When it comes to grown people, right? Grown folks, listen to me. We already have done our thing.
Right.
We've grown up. We've experienced life. We've gone through the motions. And now it's their turn. Unfortunately, a lot of us, including us, go through periods where we stuck. And the sense is, our ego now is on the throne and it's all about us.
And I think the key is when it comes to this, when you're talking about blending, is when you break up with a person, you break up with them. If this is your child's
Please say that again.
You break up with them. The child,
your kids didn't.
They didn't break up with their parents.
They still
They didn't
connected.
break up with their mother. They didn't break up with their father. Their relationship does not end just because your relationship ended. And so with that in mind, you have to remember this is the reason why you have to learn how to get along with that other person is for the sake of your children.
Right.
It's not about your relationship is ended.
Right.
It's done. It's over. That's cool. Whatever the reasons were, you guys go your separate ways. But there's still this person that's involved in both of your lives, who's going to be involved in both of your lives for the remainder of their life.
However long that looks.
Regardless of the fact that the two of you are no longer together.
Absolutely.
And you have to remember that and you have to consider that. Just because your relationship ends, their relationship does not end. Their relationship continues.
100%,
But that's also whether they see them, like even out with my daughter, her father wasn't actively involved for a number of years.
Yeah.
That didn't make him still not her father.
Absolutely.
And so when she got older.
Yep. Come on now.
they were able to reconnect, and today they have a relationship.
And let me switch up and reel that back in for a quick second. If I, as the quote stepfather or the bonus dad, wasn't willing to accept the fact that this little girl still is biologically connected to this man. So if in fact he decides he wants to switch up, and where he was not having an active and engaging relationship with her before, he becomes a new person and one day wakes up and says, I'd like a relationship with my biological daughter. Here's the problem, and herein lies the rub. If I, as the bonus father, have taken on the posture that he don't matter, if I, as the bonus father, has taken on the posture that he hasn't been doing his part, so he doesn't, quote, deserve, then what I do is I, with a broad stroke, eliminate all options of her being engaged with her father. Here's a news flash. The truth of the matter is that they are connected whether I like it or not.
Right.
And so what I need people to understand is that when I came to the point, babe, when I realized it was not about me, it didn't mean that I didn't feel.
Right.
It didn't mean that I may not get my feelings hurt.
Right.
But when my daughter decided that, you know what, I wanted to pursue a relationship with my biological dad, that had nothing to do with me.
Right. That had nothing to do with your relationship, because she had a relationship with you and you're her dad.
100%.
Your daddy.
100%. She's had two fathers before me.
Right.
And she calls me dad.
Right. You're the one that she has that intimate relationship with, but he's still her father. And the thing, I think that's what happens is that when we break off a relationship, we want to take, I was trying to find a pencil. You want to take an eraser.
Yeah.
And erase that person out of your life.
Ooh, that's good.
You can't erase that person out of your child's life because that's part of their story.
Babe, we got to go on to number 2.
Okay.
We got to go to number 2 because we're running out of time, guys. Okay. We don't want to belabor this point. But again, 3 proven strategies to consider. Number 1, it's not about you. Number 2, and I need y'all to put this in the chat, blending family is a team sport. If you want to successfully blend family, you have to buy into the team mentality.
Yes. You can't do it by yourself. It's about you and that co-parent coming together as a team. You, your spouse, your co-parent, their spouse, you guys coming together as a team.
But what happens when they don't want to work with me?
Okay, I may be the head coach. I'm still going to send some plays your way and see if you can participate.
You know what's
I'm
funny?
going to still give you the option.
You know what? I love that analogy.
You might be the offensive coordinator, but I'm the head coach.
Let me tell y'all something about what I love about the fact that my wife just broke this down in a total sports situation, right? Now, I'm super excited. Guys, listen. As a head coach, there are certain plays that you know that benefit certain players, right? And as a head coach, your goal is to get the entire team involved.
Right.
Because if the entire team is involved, the morale of the team goes up. When the morale of the team goes up, the chances are of performing better goes through the roof. What would it look like as a head coach for me to dial up a play that requires the skill set of a specific player? Thus, the player feels connected to the overall vision, and as a result, they love participating.
And I just got this.
Oh.
Your child is the star player on the team. Your child is Kobe.
Ooh.
Your child is LeBron. And so you want to put people around them that's going to support them.
Yep.
And that includes their the co-parents.
Y'all, this is fire. We not going to do all of it today, but we going to overall, over the next couple of weeks, I need y'all to tag as many people, share this out with, that's good, babe, to share this out with as many people as possible, because here's what's getting ready to change, babe. When we do this retreat in November, we're going to break down some practical stuff that we've never talked about on how to carry that out. Right. We're going to show you guys how we did it. We're going to show you proven strategies that work. And I really want you guys to sign up. So again, if you're interested at all remotely, November the 18th through the 23rd in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, resort town.
Right. And you can go to the website to find out more information. It's https://
Look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put that, we're going to put that John in the chat. Right.
/covenant.
We putting that in the chat. It's going to be in the chat. So don't even try to keep it because I just lost her.
Marriedtothering.com.
God bless America.
/covenant.
Here's what we know. Number one, it's not about you. Number two, blending family is a team sport. And number three is, do you want your point or do you want peace? Now, before you answer that question, it's rhetorical. I want you to think about this. What does it look like for me to celebrate peace? What does it look like for me to walk in a way where I actually desire peace over my point? What does it look like for me to decide peace is not necessary, but my point is more necessary? What that looks like is not blending. What that looks like is not obtaining the objective of us coming together. You and I just got back from a cruise with our co-parents, with Justin's mom and his bonus dad. And we, over the last 20 years, have been working on our relationship. When we first started, I would dare say that we were not road dogs at all. No. We were not friends in the regard that we hung out socially and all that. Right. We were amicable. I don't think we were ever oil and water. No. And we're going to get into that over the next couple of weeks, the differences between oil and water, business partners, and the difference between flat out road dogs. Like y'all like this, right? Y'all hang together. There's a difference in those levels. Not everybody's going to get to every level. I get that. Today, I can honestly say that we are partners with our co-parents. Yes. We have moved from just business partners or just doing what we had to do to make it work to we actually like each other so much so that obviously we could go on a cruise together. Right. The point I'm making is that although this may not be the place that you land, the question is, what does moving up the ladder look like for you?
Right. And when it comes to do you want your point or do you want peace, you're going to disagree on things.
100%.
You and your co-parent are going to disagree. But this is where you have to decide, is this a $5 issue or is it a $5,000 issue? Is this something that I can yield to and let them?
Or is this a non-negotiable?
Or is this a non-negotiable?
Right.
If it's something that's detrimental to my child, if I feel like it's going to be completely against the values that I'm instilling in my child, I may hold my ground on that.
Yep.
But if it's whether or not they wear pink or blue, I mean, it's people. You would be amazed at some of the issues that co-parents go at it about that are not that serious.
Right.
It's really not that, but because you want to hold well, I said this, and he not going to do this because I said this, and it's like it doesn't really matter.
100%, babe.
Is it life altering?
Yes.
But you're going to stand your ground
all
and
go
day into this big debate with your co-parent about something that really does not matter.
Right.
It's not that big a deal. That it's not going to, your child is not going to be scarred for life.
Yeah.
If they go to Busch Gardens with their co-parent and you're not there,
and
versus you going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
true,
amazing
babe.
Some of the trivial things that people, but it's because you don't know, and because oftentimes it's the custodial parent who's the one that holds their ground, because you have been the custodial parent, because the weight the responsibility has been on you. But if you want to solicit the involvement, you want to solicit the help of the co-parent, you have to let them help.
Guys, let me tell you something right now. Put in the chat, give and take. Put that in the chat, give and take, give and take. I know y'all talking amongst each other and y'all not listening to us because we're not engaging you at this point. I need y'all to listen to me carefully. Stop what you're doing. Put in the chat, give and take. Joy and pain, yin and yang, push and pull. Here's the problem. Ego is what gets in the middle of give and take.
Yes.
Whenever I allow my ego, which is my way of doing things,
my way or the highway,
to ride, to sit on the throne, to call all the shots. What is invariably going to happen is I'm going to interrupt, listen to me carefully, guys, the rhythm of give and take. Give and take is a dance.
Yes.
It is a rhythm. It is something that you get used to doing because you do it often enough that where it becomes almost, you don't even think about it. I remember when Deirdre and I, and you will remember this, we had this thing where I got Justin every other weekend. Well, as a result of back in those days, I was in full-time ministry, and there were some times where I was traveling.
Right.
And there would be times where I could not get him on my week.
Right.
We had this yin and yang, this push and pull thing. It was this written flexibility, unwritten rule that said, listen, if I'm going to be out of town during my week, we'll just flip weeks. Mm-hmm. Or I will get him 2 weeks in a row. Right. And you will, and we worked it out even. And if there were things that were like time sensitive, maybe there was a date on your calendar that would not allow for that, then I would back up and then give way to that. And we learned that when we made room for that and we worked together, here's what the difference maker was. It made for a peaceful world for our son.
Yes, definitely.
It wasn't peaceful for us to make those adjustments.
Right.
Let me be dead real. That was hard.
Right.
Because now you got fixed issues, stuff that you got to work out. But because we kept the mindset, it wasn't about us.
Right.
We were able to work through it. And I'm not going to tell you it was always smooth.
Right.
It took 20 some years for us to be able to navigate that. But we decided that we was going to stay the course because he was worth it.
Right. And I think the key, like I said, is being flexible. It's being able to be willing to remember, if you go back to number one, it's not about you. It's
go back
about
to number
the
one.
child. It's about the child. It's not
Scroll
about
up
you.
the feed and go back to
going to number two. Blending families is a team sport. Teams work together.
Yes. That's why
you're not
called
enemies. You're working
teams.
together because you're a team. And you focus on whether or not you want your point or your peace. If you're striving towards peace,
yes,
then you'll be able to work together and be able to do this successfully.
One thing I want to add before, because we got a bonus for you guys. One thing I want to add before that is that striving for peace is something that you pre-plan.
Right.
Let me help y'all out. When you have a goal in mind, as a head coach, your goal is to cast vision to the team. Mm-hmm. You have to decide at the beginning of the season, and let me just help you guys understand. The beginning of the season is not the regular season.
Right. It's preseason.
The beginning of the season is prior to preseason.
Oh, yeah.
It is the mandatory workouts. It is the meetings, the rookie
training camp.
It's training camp, right? Once you in those kinds of environments, here's where you set the tone. The tone is, this is where we're going. Our expected outcome is X.
Right.
Our goal is to accomplish, is it the playoffs? Is it the championship? What is the goal? Establish that early, and then now what you do throughout the season, you're just simply maintaining what you said you wanted to do.
Right.
And at that particular point, it makes it easy for you to get your ego off the throne, because now you're able to say, that doesn't match the goal. That doesn't match the vision. That's not where we're going. And as much as it kills me to do so, I'm going to acquiesce to that, because at this particular point, it's about the kid. It's about his end game.
Right, right. You ready for the bonus?
Ready for the bonus.
Ready for the bonus.
Y'all ready for the bonus? Put bonus in the chat. Put bonus in the chat. If you ready, I'm not moving no further till I see some bonuses in the chat. Do 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 do. All right, guys, listen. We ain't gonna drag this out forever. Appreciate y'all putting bonus in the chat. Listen, here's what I would need everybody to understand. And again, I want you guys to go to our website, www.thecrcoach.com, if you want to work with us. We're going to get ready to get out of here, but I want to leave you guys with a bonus that says your foundation needs to be blended before you can blend the family. I know that's long. I'm going to say it again. Your, as a couple, foundation needs to be blended. Or I'm going to even add blending.
Or
in order for you to ever become a blended family.
And this is for couples who are married. So you've come together, you're married. Now, the two of you have to blend first before you can blend your family.
Right.
Now, if you're a single parent, blending with your co-parent, your relationship with that co-parent has to be blended. And what that means, you don't have to be in relationship with that person.
And you don't have to always agree.
And you don't have to agree, but the two of you have to come to agreement.
There's a difference
On how you're going to raise this child.
You done messed me up. You
have to come into agreement that you're going to co-parent together. And so your relationship has to blend to the degree that you guys are saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do what's best for our child, even though we're not together anymore. And that's how the two of you blend together. Because if the two of you are on opposite ends,
I love it, babe.
And you're not blended,
yep,
you're going to continue to do this as you're trying to co-parent your child.
Babe, I think that what people need to understand, and I know that sounds sort of oxymoronic for me to say it this way. Listen to me really carefully. I do not have to be in agreement with you in order for us to come in agreement. Let me tell you what I mean. If we use scripture and we say in Amos 3:3 that the Bible says that how can two walk together unless they agree to do so? Right. What are they agreeing to do? To walk together. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are in agreement with where they are going. Right. That doesn't mean to make that they're in agreement with everything the other one says. Right. It just means that we are agreeing to just walk together. And so what that denotes is that we will figure it out along the way.
And so what that means for a single parent who's co-parenting with their single co-parent or their co-parent who's married is that you're saying we're agreeing that we are going to work together to raise this child.
That's what we're agreeing on.
That's what we're agreeing. And when you do that, your relationship with that co-parent has blended because you're in agreement with each other.
With that end game.
With the ultimate goal. That doesn't mean you're going to agree with everything along the way, but you guys have agreed on what the goal is and the vision of where you're trying to go. You're agreeing that you're going to raise this child together.
Yes.
And then you're going to work through all the other
stuff.
So
next week when we come together, we're going to try and drill down on a few things, and we're going to take these things one component at a time, because here's what I realized. We probably have given more people more stuff to talk about in terms of, Lord Jesus, I got more questions than we right now have answers. If you guys want to work with us, we'd love to be able to consider what that would look like. Again, go to the website, www.thecrcoach.com. Sign up for a free discovery session. We'll see if we're a match. That's where you can get maybe introduced to our group coaching environment or one-on-one. If you want more information about this retreat that we're doing, we're going to be doing some hands-on stuff, but we're going to continue. Just go to the website as well. We're going to continue, guys, to drill down on this one bullet point at a time, in a sense, and talk about some strategies as how you can pull some things off. Let me say this. Everybody has a very unique scenario. Yes. We are not going to, nor are we going to attempt to paint a broad stroke across the landscape of all y'all's lives and be able to get y'all a legit solution. What that would require is for us to know exactly what's going on in your dynamic. That you have to get us aside on a coaching call so we can deal with your specific situation. But what I do want to do is I want to attempt to dispel the myths. Right. That blending family has to be as hard as it is.
It doesn't have to be.
I am a living witness, and you have got to understand where I came from. There's no way in the world, I'm not going to get emotional, that we should be where we are right now. I didn't deserve it. I certainly did not. I can only say I didn't deserve it. And what I mean by that is that I wasn't displaying behavior where my ex-wife should want to even follow me. We're going to talk about that. But the truth of the matter is that I changed in some areas that garnered a trust level for her to want to follow. Right. And what that did is it opened up the door for my current wife to even be able to build a bridge, because I was doing a significant amount of work on my own. Guys, when you remove ego, the game changes. And I'm going to challenge y'all as a coach to say, listen, this ain't about you. At the end of the day, blending a family is a team sport. And number 3, we talked about it. Do you want your point or do you want a piece? That is a decision that you have to make. And if you make the right call, you can build towards it. If you make the wrong call, you're going to work hard. And it's probably not going to go your way. We got to get out of here for today. Appreciate y'all's time. I know it was short, sweet, to the point today. We've got a ton of things on our plates, but we appreciate you guys. Please subscribe to the channel if this information is something that you really enjoyed. Certainly tag somebody, share it out, like, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you can get the notifications. And at the end of the day, we all need some help. Y'all be good. Day. We'll talk soon.